So today we're going to be talking about Sonic Unleashed on the PS2. And I'm going to divide this up into little sections, first talking about the story, the music, and the presentation. Then going on to talk about the Werehog. Then going on to talk about Sonic and the daytime stages. And from there, I'll just do a tiny conclusion. So let's just start with the story. So to briefly summarize the plot, Eggman breaks the planet apart, and Sonic somehow gets infused with the Dark Gaia energy and gets turned into a werehog. I don't exactly understand how that happened. He then goes on to meet Chip, who is also like Gaia. Spoilers for this game, by the way. It came out in 2008. If you're watching this, I don't know why you haven't at least played it or seen any other review on the game. So they go off onto an adventure, and they take the Chaos Emeralds to the Gaia temples. They restore the planet one piece at a time. Then at the very end, they go to Eggman Land. They beat Eggman. They beat Dark Gaia. They restore the planet fully. Chip stays underground with Dark Gaia and the Colossus thing. And Sonic and Tails go off into another adventure. So, the plot is fine. My problem with it is Chip. I don't like Chip as a character, and that really kind of just ruins the game story for me. Like, I don't like him whenever he's on screen. He's just not a character I really like, and there's no real reason behind it. I just don't like him. So it's probably a fine enough story as is. It's certainly better than a lot of other stories we've been getting in Sonic, but it's still just nothing that special to me, as well as after the beginning and up until the end of the game, pretty much nothing really happens. It's just kind of a repeat of going to the temple, defeating a boss, restoring the Chaos Emerald, and restoring a piece of the planet. And you do that 6 times before getting to Eggman Land, and you finally get the ending. And I don't know, maybe just a bit more variety in the story would have helped, maybe. Hard to say, but yeah, I think this game's story is just a bit repetitive. I don't like Chip, and while the writing is fine on its own, as well as talking to the NPCs and whatnot, I think they have fun things to say and whatnot. I don't think it quite ever reaches its full potential with it, which is a shame. But oh well, it's better than a lot of other stories, like I said, so it's fine enough for what it is. So now, let's get on to the Werehog. I do not like the Werehog in this game. His levels are a mixture of platforming and fighting enemies, and I think there might be some puzzles in there. It's been over a week since I got done with the game, and I've had a hard time remembering these levels. So yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of combos. I think he has 7 or 8 different kind of combos. You use the let me get the controller to help refresh my memory here. Yeah, you use square and circle as the basic attack. They do the same thing. Triangle is the heavy attack. Then you can just get a few combos out of those 3 buttons. And that's pretty much it for the combat. and it really just evolves into doing like the same thing over and over again, like very quickly, like much quicker than like on the HD version by a long shot. And so I don't think I said this already. I've been like, this is like the fifth time I've tried to record this, but his levels are all rather short, all things considered. Like by themselves, they're like, none of them are like over like 9 minutes long. If you know what you're doing, or just are blasting through the level. Uh, so yeah, I got the part time for like pretty much all the ones that I played. And I think like the longest time for like one of the part times was like 9 minutes. So that's not really the problem, the length. It's like the number of these stages. For the most part, most of the continents will have three. But Shamar and Adabat have four. And they really start to drag on when you have four of these things. Like three was like bad enough, especially when you go to like one continent, you do the three, and then you have to go to like the next continent, and you immediately have to do like another three before you can get to like another like daytime stage. That is the absolute worst, and I think that actually happened to me at one point. I think it was like like Spagonia, and then either like Chunnan or I don't know. Yeah, I think it was like Chunnan after that. I believe it might have been another one. I, like I said, this was like over a week ago, so my mind's kind of trying to forget all this stuff. It's doing a really good job apparently, because I'm having a hard time remembering. But yeah, it's really just not that fun or engaging. Like if you're like putting something on in the background, it's like a mindless distraction at best. But if you're gonna play this game, you should really just play the daytime stages, and I'll get to those in a second. But briefly talk about how you even like get your ranks, because it's a bit differently from how you like get a rank in the daytime stages. For the werehog, it is three different things you need to do. For the part time, you need to beat the part time. You need enough rings, and you need a high enough score, I believe was it. I know the rings and the part time were definitely it, but I'm not too sure on the score. I'm pretty sure that was it. That was it though. Uh, Maybe like correct me if I'm wrong or something in the comments. I don't really feel like turning the game back on and checking. Um, so yeah, this is There's not a whole lot of an enemy variety either. Eventually, the game will just kind of like start sending out like recolors that are like stronger, and it'll also just send out enemies that are like the same, but just bigger, and that's kind of annoying. It, it really doesn't like have too much variety. Uh, it has like the basic little like hedgehog looking things. I don't actually know what the names of the creatures are, but it has like the little tiny ones that make like cat noises. It has like the basic ones with like the pointy nose, and it has like the one with the giant club. It has like the big fat one that spews out the little cat meowing ones. It has the bees, because of course it does, and it has like a couple varieties of wizards, as well as the other flying ones. Sometimes they go electrical, but for the most part they don't. Uh, so yeah, it's really. There's also the little robots that shoot out like not lightning, wind, fire. I don't know if the ice ones are in this version. I think they are. I'm not entirely sure. I know the fire and wind ones definitely probably are. I'm kind of less sure about the fire ones, but I know the wind ones are because they killed me a few times. And I got super mad. Cause it's usually at like near the end of the stage when it happens. Um, so the level design itself isn't that great. It's never too confusing. It's always, for the most part, like pretty straightforward what you need to do. There were like a couple of times there was like one stage and I had a bet where I just was having like a hard with like a whole bunch of like whirlpools and like stuff going around them, and it was very like slow stage, and I was having a hard time there trying to figure out how to get to the next section. But after like one game over, I figured it out, so it wasn't too bad. I think there was another time where like most of the level was just like this very long kind of bridge, and you got to find like these three. I'm not even sure what the hell they are, but you got to find like these three things to like open the path forward, and I could not find the third one for a little bit, and that got me kind of lost. I still managed to get the part time though, so it doesn't really matter. Um, this game loves its arenas though, uh, and an excuse to just like box you in and have you fight some enemies for a little bit. This game just absolutely loves. And the platforming itself, I really don't like the platforming. I I don't remember exactly what my problem was, but it always feels like you're going to like overshoot the platform, and that for me is just like really kind of just stressful. I really don't like that. I don't like how the warehouse controls, like in general, in this game. I couldn't exactly tell you why. 'Cause I'm not really good at explaining like how things control. I can just tell you if I like them or if I don't. And in this case, I don't. I do not like how this game controls for the Werehog or Sonic, but I'll get to him very soon, I swear. I know I'm going on for like 8 minutes, but it just, it's just too much to talk about. Uh, so yeah, definitely expect some pictures though for this. Probably going on for like 30 seconds because holy crap, I'm going on for like 9 minutes about this. Okay, fine, I'll just talk about Sonic now. God damn it. So the daytime stages are my favorite part of Sonic Unleashed on the PS2. Just to quickly get the controls out of the way, from what I can try to remember here, X is the jump and homing attack. Square is like the slam downward thing. I don't quite remember what it's called. Circle is like for the light speed dash, and I believe it might also be the boost. I don't remember what the boost button was. I didn't really use it a whole bunch. And the boost also just kind of like works a little bit differently, but I'll get to that in a second. Triangle, as far as I'm aware, is unused, which is kind of weird, but that's Sonic Team for you. No, Dimps made this one, I believe. That's Dimps for you, I guess. Fuck you, Dimps. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So the boost works a little differently. You have to like build up the gauge, and like there's like different like little like sections of it. So you have like three boosts like at first, and like after you get like a certain amount of rings, you'll get like a fourth one. After like a certain amount of rings again, you'll get like a fifth one. And I believe that's the max number. There might actually be a sixth one. I don't remember, but I think like the most I ever had was like five. So yeah, you basically like use up one by like hitting the boost button, and then you gotta like get some rings to like fill that back up. So yeah, it definitely wants you to like use them sparingly and at the appropriate times. Which for me was like basically never. I did not use the boost a whole lot because I don't like the boost, and I think that was certainly good for me. Cause I did not go for like the S ranks or the A ranks. To even like get like at one of those times, that like for the rank, it is like all about time. The ring thing, the score does not matter at all. It is a timed thing, and I only got Bs. I only went for the Bs. If I did not get the B, I would just restart the stage till I got it, which I think was only a problem in Chunnan. Yeah, I think that was the only problem I had. Where at first I was taking too long and I missed the B, and I had to restart, mostly due to a game over. But I ended up getting the B after that. So yeah, I definitely want you to be very. I guess I don't want to say strategic, but that might be it. I don't know. I'm very tired as I'm doing this. So yeah, it's a lot of fun though. There's like a bunch of like multiple paths. It's really fun to just like kind of like move around, and like the control itself when you're like not really going on much fast is like not good. And if you need to like turn around for something, the control is just awful. It was not made for this sort of thing. And like when you get to like the mandatory missions, because like there's like the Sonic stage, and then you have like a little bit like a few missions to do after that, like don't break the jars, get like a certain amount of rings, uh, get to the gold ring in like a certain amount of time, stuff like that. And I'll get back to that in a second. But like one very later on caused me to just not beat this game. But yeah, like those things, like if you like miss like rings in like the get like a certain amount of rings thing, and you need to like turn around, that control is terrible, and it will not work with you. Like no matter what, and that is a real annoying thing. I don't think the control for this game was well tuned at all, which is very sad considering I think when you're not doing those like mandatory missions, I think the game is actually a lot more fun. Uh, and it really makes this game hard to recommend if you don't already have like a save file with like everything done, just so that you can just like play the game from like the Sonic stages and that's it. Because I would not recommend the Werehog. Uh, I wouldn't really recommend the bosses because they're not really all that special anyway. I'm going to just talk about the bosses real quick. Uh, Sonic's bosses are like all the same thing. I only played three of them. There was like the egg beetle, the fish looking one, and then the third one. I don't remember what it was called. I only remember the egg beetle's name. But they got like a little bit more complex though with each one. Like the egg beetle was like the most basic one, and like the fish one brought in like a new attack or two, and like the third one was actually like the most interesting and fun, as it had like a whole bunch of different attacks and patterns and whatnot. It was not like that many more than like the first other two, but it was like enough to like make it stand out the most. So yeah, as for like the Werehog bosses, you fight like the Egg Phoenix, not the Egg Phoenix, Dark Phoenix. Forget Egg Phoenix. You fight the Dark Phoenix, and it's basically the same as like the HD version, only worse because of the camera. Oh my god, the camera in that fucking section. It it follows the Phoenix like at all times, and when you're like trying to climb up something, if you're at like the wrong camera angle, the Werehog will not climb up, no matter what. So you'll have to like try to like like reposition yourself, or like hope the bird gets into like a position where you can actually climb up, or he'll just have to like maybe like jump and like hope you can like get up there. get up to like where you're going, and it's really just annoying. I hate that boss so much. And you have like the Dark Moray, I think is what it's called, and that boss is like pretty much the same as like the HD version as well. It's fine. It's like a little bit different because you gotta hit like these like four generators and like destroy them. Then you can just like go up and beat up the moray. Um, and you just like do that like 3 times. Oh yeah, it also spits out like this uh the freezing container things that you gotta like freeze it with. It's actually just like a really easy boss, but it does a lot of damage. 'Cause it took out like most of my health bar at one point near the end of the fight my first time, and it killed me. As for the Dark Guardian, that is just a straight up kind of brawl thing with it. It has like a few like different like attacks that it does. It's not a whole lot, just like a couple, and you pretty much just like beat it up and like a straight up brawl. I think that was like the most fun of the three. I certainly had fun with it, and so that's just like the bosses like so. Where did I just straight up quit with this game? I quit at Eggman Land. I beat Sonic. I beat like the main mission stage, and then there were two like mandatory missions before you could get to like the Werehog stuff. There was one of them was beat the stage in like this certain amount of time, or like get to the goal ring in this amount of time or whatever. And the next one, another one was like get 280 rings within this time limit, and I could not get these rings. I got so mad because this was so frustrating, and I just could not do it. By the time I got to like this little like kind of like Ferris wheel section, it's not really like a Ferris wheel, but it's kind of like one where it's going like around in a circle. By the time I got to like there, with like maybe 200 rings, I had at most like 15 seconds left, and I just could not do this. So I quit. I was at that point. I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm sick of this game. I don't want to do this anymore. I quit, and I did. So I did not do the Werehog stages for Eggman Land. I didn't do like the last bosses with Doctor Eggman and the Werehog and Dark Gaia. I did none of that. But I did look it up online, and it doesn't really look like I'm missing out on anything too special. But if you like can get like a memory card or something that has a save file with the game already beaten, uh, go ahead, be my guest, play through it, play through the Sonic stages, do the mandatory mission, not the mandatory, do the stages. Forget about the stupid mandatory missions. They're terrible for the most part. I mean, they're not actually that terrible. I mean, most of them are fine. Fun little like distractions. Some of them are just frustrating. Avoid avoid these stupid breaking jars ones. Those are just terrible. I think there's one in Chunnan that really pissed me off. Also, the PS2 version does not have Missouri. It has the boss, but it doesn't have like the stage for either the Werehog or Sonic. It's also missing Empire City. And on one hand, I'm happy about that, but on the other hand, you know, like less Werehog and all that. But like on the other hand, I do wish we had like a daytime stage at least for Missouri, just because I would have wanted like one more uh, daytime stage for this game. At least just like that one more. Even if we didn't get to have like any more Werehog, which we really didn't need, I just think that one more daytime stage really would have made the difference. Uh, At least for me. Though overall, I do not recommend this game unless, like I already said, like the memory card thing. This is not a good game. Too much of it is just boring or like frustrating, and it's just not a fun time. Now, I think I've mentioned the the HD version quite a few times. I know I wasn't actually trying to. I don't remember if I said that in the first like 30 seconds or so, because that was recorded like over a week ago as well, like right after I first beat the game. So, um, maybe I'll one day do a review on it. Probably not anytime soon. I'm so sick of the Werehog at this point and the boost in general. Um, but if you're gonna play Sonic Unleashed, play it. Play the HD version. It has its own fair share of problems, and it's certainly far from a great game, but it's better than the PS2 version and Wii version overall. And I would recommend that over this. So, yeah. Okay. I'm done. Like the past like minutes or so has probably just been like the cover again, and I'm sorry for that. I'm just like I'm so tired at this point. I, I was trying to like find gifs for this video, and I could not do it. I could not get any. I can't get gameplay footage. So all I have are these stupid screenshots, and trying to find them all was such a pain. You have no idea. I never want to see this version of the game ever again. I hate looking up all this stuff. Okay, no, I'm done. I'm done complaining. Uh, if you like this game, though, let me know why in the comments. I mean, like, I kind of like stuff about it too. Okay, I'm going to shoot it now.